What's up, YouTube? It's Ben Nader. Thanks again for checking out my channel. Smash the like button, please, if you would. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, shoots my videos to the top, which I'm shooting for, so I would really appreciate that, as well as hit the subscribe button if you have not already. So since you're already here, I figured that we would talk a little bit about recruitment fees and why they make sense and why companies happily pay them. So a lot of people don't understand this. People that are on the outside of the recruiting space do not understand why companies would pay $10,000 for you to find them a candidate that they can interview and hire for their business. So just to dig in right away, the details are this. Companies are focused on their business. So Microsoft, for example, Microsoft is developing new technology. They're marketing that technology. They're working on the next iteration of Windows, whatever it might be. Apple, they're working on their technology and their phones and whatever it might be that they do. They are not focused on recruiting. Someone like myself is focused on recruiting, a recruiter, a search agency. Those people are focused on recruiting, and therefore they handle that piece of the business for them, and therefore they get paid. Just like you go and get your taxes prepared by someone like H&R Block or TurboTax or whatever it might be, at the end of the day, you pay for that service to be handled. Whether it be on a small scale or a large scale, you pay for that service to be handled. So what we're doing in recruiting is a lot of time, a lot of energy, and then a lot of skill in searching for the right candidates. And therefore, at the end of the day, we get paid a fee for what we do, whether it be $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, sometimes $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000, depending on the caliber of the search itself. So if you're looking for a high-level executive, those searches might fetch $40,000 as a finder's fee. If you're looking for the general labor space where I play, mostly those are $5,000 to $7,000, $8,000 fees a head per candidate, because we're looking at warehouse, transportation, hospitality, those sorts of things where the search is easier. So it basically depends on the value that you deliver. And if you're looking for like a high-end hedge fund, sales guru type of guy, your search might take 3-4 months, and that might fetch a $50,000 fee. If you're like me, where it takes me 3 days to find a customer service rep, that's going to be like a $4,000 fee, just because it's simple and easy. And it makes sense because time and skill and energy that you put into something is ultimately going to get paid for at the level it's supposed to get paid for. So it all works out just like in nature. However much you put in, you're going to get out. So long story short, companies are focused on their self. They're not focused on this recruiting piece, and that's where they're happy to pay these fees. So if I break it down mathematically, generally I'm placing candidates that are about $3,500 to $4,000, $5,000 a piece fee-wise. So meaning each candidate that I place is going to fetch me about a $4,000 fee. And that is because the search time and level it takes for me to put up a few ads, do a few emails, make a few phone calls, set up interviews, that takes like 2 to 3 days, and I can make $4,000 off of that. Is that something to shake a stick at? No, not at all, because that's still $4,000 in 2 to 3 days. That's absurd, but companies are still willing to pay that because it doesn't take away from their time and their energy in their business. So even a warehouse where they need someone to drive a forklift and maybe drive a box truck, they're still going to pay $4,000 for me to find someone for them, because they're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in business per day, and that forklift driver to them means a loss or gain of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in production value for them over the course of a week or a month, let's say. So the critical components that they need they're going to pay for a tenth of the cost. They're going to pay for it without even batting an eye, because they need it. It's a requirement for them to do business. So that's why recruitment fees work. Recruitment fees work because you're coming in underneath and you're handling a piece of the business that they can't handle, and you're delivering the value on, and therefore they will happily pay you, practically beg you sometimes to find them a handful of candidates. I have a lineup of companies right now that would be overjoyed if I brought them the perfect candidate all on Monday morning. They would be ecstatic just because it's going to bring them all of their production value, whether it's technical or whether it's general or, nitty-gritty like grunt labor, whatever it is, it's going to bring them their production value they need, even if it's at a tenth of the cost of what they're going to lose or gain by having that employee on staff and getting trained and hired. So, when you hear about a company, losing tons and tons of money, it just might be because they don't have employees in place, or they don't have the proper employees in place, or the employee isn't the properly skilled employee. So tech recruiting is extremely lucrative, and companies are happily willing to pay you $25,000, $30,000 to find them a software developer that might be highly skilled in a niche field, because they need that person to help develop their next product that's in line to sell for millions and millions of dollars. And that person provides a skill that will amp up their production for that new phase of their product. So recruitment fees work all day long. Recruitment's never going away. Contrary to popular belief, recruitment's never going to be automated. I think people believe too much in that. Human decision making and human contact is not something that can be automated by AI or other things. And I think a lot of people think that software and things can take that stuff away. But companies, I think, will always be paying people for recruiting fees. And that's why recruiting and staffing, starting a staffing agency, can be incredibly lucrative. It has proven to be extremely lucrative for me personally. Tons of people I know and the industry at large. There's people I know doing $500K a year, no problem at all, with practically one search every single month. I do a higher volume search where I'm placing maybe 5-6 people a month. But it just depends on how you go about it. The bottom line in this video is that companies will pay for your recruiting fees, no problem, no questions asked. And I think that's a small barrier of entry for people when they think about recruitment or joining the recruiting industry or getting into staffing, because they think, will this work as a business? Yeah, it definitely will work. I'm a living testament to that. Tons of people are a living testament to that. So that's all I wanted to kind of talk about in this video. Anyways, I will catch you guys on Sunday, and I hope you're having a good weekend. Take care.